Preston Guy, TigerBait.com, with us every Friday. Had to check in with Luke Johnson from the airport in the first hour. Preston, good enough to move back a little bit for us here on this Friday. How are you, sir?
Oh, hon, I'm doing better here. I'm out of parent-teacher conferences and into talking about sports, so I'm doing much better. Thank you for working on my timeline.
What are the what grade are we talking about here for parent teacher conferences?
Oh,
Yeah,
preschool, my friend.
that's what I thought. So we don't
Mhm.
have any significant issues in preschool.
No, we have a little bit of a potty issue. We're not quite 100% there yet, but no, it's just more of a, it's nothing a concern. It's just like let's meet the administrator and talk about where he's at after a first week in school. But,
Understood. Well, hope all's
yeah.
well there. Let's talk some football. I wanted to throw a really open-ended question at you to start our discussion. Like, have you been completely surprised by anything in camp? Anything that you were just dead wrong about that you thought 4 weeks ago?
Oh man, there's nothing that really stands out to me. I mean, it's stunningly gone to plan, and I would argue that's a good thing, except for one aspect, the offensive line. Now, the offensive line has been kind of holding its own, but not great, and I think that's more or less what we were expecting. I'm trying to think here. I mean, there's little things such as Destin Hill and the amount of time he's gotten. There's been a few things like how many players they've rotated in on defense, like such as like even guys like Keelan Moser has gotten some reps with the ones, and I found that very surprising. PJ Woodland looks really good at his corner spot. That caught me off guard a little bit, but I don't know that there's any major themes because the major themes of fall camp have been, well, offense and defense are fairly evenly matched. Well, we all kind of expected them both to be pretty good units this year. Nussmeier is very, very, very good. I don't think anybody is shocked by that. Most of the themes have kind of lined up as expected.
LSU's safety play in 2025 will be blank.
Better. That's a safe response, isn't it? Better.
That is safe. Give me some thoughts on players and why you think that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I mean, they're bringing back a lot of the guys they had last year. Taviano, they're bringing back Deshaun Spears, Jordan Gilbert. All those guys are back, right? Obviously, you lose Sage Ryan, and you replace him with Tamarcus Cooley and A.J. Halsey. And right now, it's looking like Halsey and Cooley will be the starters. So the fact that you got, a lot of your same bodies from last year who would be back there, and then you've got new faces in, and those new faces are beating out your old faces. I mean, that's good. Not to mention, on the defense, I probably have the least faith in safety of all the positions, but your cornerback room is looking very good. And ultimately, I believe if it does come down to it and you do see more struggles at safety, you've got bodies at corner that you can move back there. I mean, Mansour Delane is having an excellent fall camp. He looks really good. A dude can tackle. He can lower his shoulder. He could play safety. I mean, a lot of these guys I could see moving around and going out there. So, Ashton Stamps is a starter, but also your second team corners, those look really good right now. You've got Pickett looking really good, although he's been beaten by Chris Hilton a good bit, but he's still looking pretty good and making some plays out there. We saw an interception LSU posted yesterday. PJ Woodland, very good fall camp. So between the safeties and corners room, I really do have a lot of faith and confidence that they're going to be able to put 4 or 5 good DBs on the field. Whether or not he's listed on the roster with a CB or an S next to his name, I don't know if that matters quite as much as I think they'll be able to put 4 or 5 guys who can play ball back there.
Would you have had West Weeks ahead of Devon Keys a month ago?
No, I wouldn't have. But it certainly seems to be looking out, and I think a theme that we're seeing for fall camp is they're going to rotate bodies in and out. Okay, I mean, unless you are, Whit Weeks might be the one who is just irreplaceable on the field. But you can't tell me West and Witt don't have, chemistry with one another.
Yeah.
They certainly know how to communicate and play next to each other. And there's a handful of positions on the football field where you just really need that chemistry. Wide receiver, quarterback. I'd argue your offensive linemen, particularly the ones playing next to each other, need to have great communication, and linebacker certainly one of those.
Wide receiver is interesting because of the amount of bodies they have that have looked really, really good. Xavier Thomas had another really good day today out at practice. Do you think he factors in at wide receiver?
No, I mean certainly as utility player. I mean he's a gadget gizmo guy if there ever was one. I mean you're going to use him in bubble screens. You're going to use him on RPO type plays. You're going to even line him up probably a couple reps at running back for gadget plays. So yeah, no, I don't think Xavier Thomas, barring injury, okay, I don't think he's got 1,000 yard season loaded up for him, but I mean he's going to play. But so is Aaron Anderson, so is Chris Hilton, so is Nick Anderson, so is Barry Brown, and frankly Kyle Parker's looked really good. And then you got to think, okay, if Xavier Thomas is out, I mean you got to think that Jelani Watkins. I mean, look, as a downfield receiver, he needs to develop. His hands aren't where they need to be, and his route running isn't as crisp as it needs to be. But you got to figure out. I mean, on a quick little bubble route or jet sweep, Jelani Watkins is one of the fastest players in America. Again, we can just talk all day about guys who have potential on this roster. I legitimately see 5 or 6 guys who, if it weren't for the other players on this roster, I could see why they could be 1,000-yard receivers.
Jelani Watkins made maybe the catch of today, ran right by Aiden Anding on a ball that looked to be overthrown. He put the Jets on and scooped it up off his knee tops on the way into the end zone. It was a heck of a play and showed that world class speed, literally, that he has. Do you have a pick to lead LSU in receiving yards this year?
Yeah, I feel like that's just a losing premise, no matter which direction I go. But I'll say Chris Hilton. I think. What's the expression? You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 3 years in a row, shame on me.
Yep.
I'm gonna still bet on the losing side of that. I guess. I think this is the year Chris Hilton turns it around, stays healthy, and shows out. He looks like a complete receiver. He is very fast. There's people have said he's just as fast as Barry Brown and Jelani Watkins, and that's world-class speed we're talking about. So he looks good in practice. Wasn't out there today. He graduated, so good for him. But I think the fact that coaches are using him as a representative of the program, sending him to SEC Media Days, it shows maturity and all that. Yeah, it could be him, but I would not bet a ton of money because it could also be Aaron Anderson. It could also be Barry Brown. I mean, it could go a lot of different ways. I think they're going to spread the ball quite a bit.
What do you make of the continued rotation of Paul Mabenga and DJ Chester at left guard?
Man, a little unfortunate that, you would hope that DJ Chester would have had a better grasp on that position, particularly he's roommates with Tyree Adams, so there's a lot of chemistry there. Okay, also the talk is that, well, he had a rough year at center, but he's not a true center. He was playing out of position. This should be more comfortable, so he should be a better player. We're talking about a highly recruited guy, top 100 overall player. Little unfortunate to see that, he's still battling it out with a younger guy like Paul Mabenga. So, ultimately, that left guard spot the truth is it isn't looking good. And neither one of the true freshmen that are coming in are looking like they're going to compete with time. You got Solomon Thomas on a bike and Carius Kern, who we all had eyes on both those guys at the guard spot. Both of them Carius Kern's had a lot of discipline issues, like a lot of offsides, holding balls we've seen on him. He's just looking like an 18-year-old learning how to play college football out there. So, I'd be lying to you if I won't have my eye on that particular position to see how it goes.
Who would you take to gain more yards on the ground this year, Caleb Jackson or Juwan Johnson?
The interesting question would have been touchdowns here. I'll go Caleb Jackson. I think he's going to be, if they need a true running back, he'll be the one to get the first nod. He's had some moments here in practice. I still think he's a little too big. And I think that, ultimately, I think Caden Durham is going to be your number one back that you're looking to in a lot of situations. And I think Caleb Jackson, I think he's still going to get a crack to be used situationally, like goal line, short yardage, that type stuff, and see what they can make of him. I would like to see Trey Holly, of course, he's had his moments and flashes. I'm sorry, I'm saying Trey Holly, the freshman kid from New
JT
Orleans. I'm
Lindsey.
sorry.
Harlem Berry.
No. Yeah, we're naming every other running back except
Yes.
for Harlem Berry. Boy, I hope his dad isn't listening and betrayed me here. Anyways, I would like to see Harlem Berry look a little less freshman-esque out there. Of course, we saw him just get blown up by Tylen Singleton and fumble the ball. Seen a drop here and there. But I would, in an ideal world, I would love to see him iron out those little freshman issues. And by game one, he's your number 2 back, because I think he's your number. He might be number 1 in terms of pure talent, but I think in terms of potential this year, he's your best number 2 option behind Caden Durham.
What do you think a realistic expectation for Harlem Berry is in September? You got 2 huge games in September against Clemson and Florida. Like, how much can they use him? In what ways can they use him?
Well, historically, Frank Wilson, though, in these big early game matchups doesn't give nods to true freshmen very often. And that's been a long time. This is not just this stretch of tenure at LSU. It dates back a while back there, even Leonard Fournette, So, I think a realistic expectation is, let's see, you got a couple gimme games in September. I mean, let's see, probably won't get much going against Clemson unless there's something surprising going on there. And then in some of these gimme games, show me some flashes, show me that you're ready to play and can make plays, and then ease your way into, a spell back type role where you're either on the field next to Caden Durham or giving him his first break. That's what I would like to see as a realistic expectation.
And they all are up and running over there at Tiger Bait with camp in full swing, and you're live every Monday. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, Tiger Bait YouTube channel. You can catch me every Monday night at 8 p.m. with Zach Nagy over there. We'll also be doing our post-game show. And, of course, right now we're pumping out practice reports, which are just wildly popular, and all sorts of good stuff going on. We got all our press conferences being uploaded. So, yeah, y'all check us out, tigerbait.com, LSU Tigers on Tiger Bait on YouTube, and we'll get you squared away, guys.
Have a good weekend. Week 0 next week. We'll talk then, Preston.
All right. See you then.
Preston Guy, tigerbait.com. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.